The internet runs on code.
But code isn't enough.
Behind every deploy is a race against complexity.
Cloud scale, cost spike. AI rewrites the rules.
Tools break, titles change.
This is the world of DevOps, cloud, and software at scale.
Built on sleepless nights.
On-call alerts, silent fixes.
We don't just build features. We build the backbone of the modern world.
This is Run It Bear Podcast. Subscribe. Ship smarter, sleep better.
You're listening to Run It Bear Developer Podcast, where we strip tech down to its core. Each episode blends insights from our expert engineers, the developer community, and the support of AI.
Hello and welcome to a new episode. All right, let's be real for a second. If you're a developer, how much of your day is just staring at that same, default terminal window?
The gray box.
Well, yeah, the gray box, the one that looks like it's like escaped from the 90s, jagged fonts, maybe one cab if you're lucky.
Yeah, you're lucky, yeah.
And the auto-completion. It's like it has the memory of a goldfish.
Yeah,
right?
it's painless.
It just feels so unproductive, like trying to build, I don't know, a modern microservice thing using Notepad and like FTP.
It's absolutely a daily friction point. I mean, the terminal, it's our main way of talking to the OS, our code, deployments. It's a battlefield, right?
Totally.
Where we spend hours debugging, scripting, just, working. But for so many people, it's the most neglected tool they have.
Yeah.
It really is like showing up to that coding boss fight with like a wooden sword.
Wooden sword. Maybe a dull spoon. And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive today. We're pooling together, our own experiences, the stuff passed around, the shared wisdom on how to really fundamentally change that whole terminal experience.
Because it's not just a text box anymore, right?
Yeah.
The whole landscape, it's changed so much.
Massively.
Ignoring these advancements, you're literally leaving productivity and comfort and, honestly, just joy on the table.
Joy. Yeah.
We've seen the difference these upgrades make. We want to help you cut through all the noise and figure out what's actually going to matter for you in your day-to-day.
So the big question.
Yeah.
Are you still living in the terminal dark ages? Because, spoiler, you really don't have to be. Yeah. Let's unpack this.
Yeah, let's really think about that feeling, being stuck in the terminal stone age. That default window, people call it a lifeless gray box, and that's, well, pretty accurate. The fonts are functional. Maybe.
Functional is generous.
Yeah. Right. Tabs might be there, but they feel bolted on.
Right.
Theming, forget about it. Autocomplete, it's laughable compared to what's actually possible now.
Honestly, it feels like the last update was around when Half-Life 2 came out.
Yeah, something like that.
We're writing infrastructure as code,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with these super complex distributed systems, and our main interface looks like Windows 98 threw up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like driving a 99 Corolla on a Formula One track.
It gets you there, eventually.
Yeah, eventually. But the ride is painful and slow. Why do we put up with it?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think for ages, terminals were just where you ran commands. That was it.
Right.
The focus was on the tools in the terminal, not the terminal itself. But dev work, it's gotten way more complex, more interactive.
Mm-hmm.
We're using powerful shells, navigating deep directories, digging through huge log files. That basic text in, text out thing, it just doesn't cut it anymore for the modern stack. All that friction, it adds up.
Okay. So it's clunky, it's slow, inefficient, we get it. But all this upgrading talk, is it just about making it look pretty? Is it just visual fluff, ricing your setup for Reddit points?
That's a fair question. And yeah, look, a beautiful terminal is nice. Let's be real, translucency and blur effects, they absolutely slack.
Can't confirm. Blur effects are crucial for productivity, obviously.
Obviously. But fundamentally, it's way more than just looks.
Okay.
The real core benefit is workflow and comfort. You spend hours staring at this thing.
So many hours.
It's your office, your command center, your daily battleground. Why would you settle for an uncomfortable, inefficient space? Think about your IDE.
Right.
Would you seriously use Notepad in 2025 for complex code?
No.
Debugging? No way.
Of course not. That's ridiculous.
The terminal is just as vital.
It's kind of like the whole mechanical keyboard thing, right? Or getting your IDE theme just right. Or tweaking your NeoVim config for weeks.
Exactly. It's personalization, yeah. But the goal is to reduce that cognitive load, cut out friction, make the tool feel like part of your brain almost.
Yeah.
Your terminal setup should help you, not fight you.
Totally. When your tools feel good, you make fewer silly mistakes, you find stuff faster. It's just nicer.
It is. It's about having a weapon that feels sharp and responsive, not wrestling with some dull, clunky thing.
Okay. Convinced. Not just pretty colors, but also blur. So how does a terminal go from dull spoon to laser cannon? What are the actual tech upgrades that make modern terminals feel so different?
Okay, this is where it gets cool. We're talking fundamental shifts.
Yeah.
First big one, GPU acceleration.
Ooh, okay.
Instead of your CPU drawing every character like pixel by pixel,
Painfully slowly.
yeah, it offloads that work to your graphics card.
So like actual FPS in my terminal.
Pretty much, we're talking 60 FPS terminal life. Smooth scrolling, instant rendering, even with tons of output. It feels snappy. It makes a surprisingly huge difference when you're tailing logs or just scrolling back through history.
Smooth scrolling.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds amazing. What else?
True color support, we're way past the old 256 color limits. Modern terminals, 16 million colors.
15 million. Okay.
Which is crucial for good syntax highlighting, detailed themes, making complex stuff like diffs or logs instantly readable. You see the different levels right away.
Readability is huge. My eyes thank me every single day for decent syntax highlighting.
Don't they? Then there's better text rendering, full Unicode support, which means no more little boxes instead of symbols.
Ooh, the little boxes. Hate those.
Even ligatures. You know, where common coding symbols like do or egg get rendered as one clean symbol.
Oh man, ligatures. Once you see it as a proper arrow, you can't go back. It feels so clean.
It really does. It cuts down visual noise.
Yeah.
And another massive one, of course, scroll back, like miles of scroll back buffer.
Miles. Okay.
Ever need to check logs from like an hour ago? Or trace some complex script output? Having basically infinite scrollback means you're not constantly piping to files or resizing windows. It's essential for debugging. And yes, for rage scrolling when things break.
Rage scrolling definitely requires a deep scrollback buffer. Non-negotiable feature.
Absolutely. And some terminals are even doing like optional multimedia support, displaying images, maybe even videos right in the terminal.
Whoa, images in the terminal. Okay, that's getting a bit wild. Maybe not for every day, but cool that it's possible.
Right. It shows how far things have come. So yeah, put it all together. GPU power, true color, Unicode, ligatures, massive scrollback. It's a sophisticated rendering environment built for complexity, readability, and speed. These aren't just nice to haves. They directly make your work faster and more comfortable.
Okay, so the default is basically a stone tablet.
Right.
Modern terminals are something out of Star Trek.
Yeah.
But if you start looking around, it seems like there's this whole like gladiator arena of options out there beyond the basic ones. How do you even pick one?
It's true. The field is crowded now, which is great. Competition is good. But yeah, it can feel a bit much. Based on, our experience and what's popular, there are a few key players, each with a kind of different vibe.
Okay, lay them on us. Who's fighting in this arena?
Let's start with Kitty. Often seen as the power user's choice. It's fast, GPU accelerated, very keyboard driven.
Keyboard driven, okay.
Config is all text files, which can feel a bit intense at first, but super flexible. If performance and keyboard control are your absolute top things, and you don't mind digging into configs, Kitty's a beast.
So for the folks measuring render times in milliseconds and who think mice are like optional extras.
Pretty much, yeah. Then there's Warp. This one feels really different. Futuristic, almost.
Exactly.
It's cloud-powered, uses this block-based thing for commands and output, has a command palette like VS Code, AI suggestions.
AI suggestions in a terminal.
Yeah, and shared sessions. The whole feel is very VS Code-like. Big draw for many devs.
But
the big asterisk, it requires a login. It's cloud-connected.
Okay. AI sounds cool, but a login for my terminal. That feels a bit weird, right?
Yeah.
What's the catch?
It's definitely a trade-off. That cloud connection powers the smart stuff, the collaboration.
Yeah.
But it means your command history, maybe other context, goes to their service.
Right.
So if privacy, keeping data local, is super important to you, Warp might not be the one. It's features versus control. You got to decide.
That's a really important point.
Okay.
Who else is in the ring?
Alacrity. If Kitty's the power user terminal, Alacrity is the speed demon.
Speed demon, I like it.
Built-in Rust, also GPU rendered, and it's intentionally minimal, like no built-in tabs or panes. The idea is do one thing be a super fast emulator perfectly. You use other tools like Tmux for window management.
Okay, so pure raw speed, and you bring your own window manager.
Exactly. For the minimalists, the performance nerds.
Okay.
Then Tabby. This one feels more like an all-in-one spaceship kind of terminal. Yeah. It's Electron-based, cross-platform, so setup is usually easy everywhere. Surprisingly smooth for Electron, packed with features like built-in SSH and SFTP management plugins. Feels kind of VS Code-y.
Built-in SSH. Okay, anyone juggling multiple servers just perked up. That's just like a huge win right there.
It really streamlines that workflow. Then Westterm, another feature-rich one, also GPU accelerated, cross-platform, uses Lua scripting for deep customization.
Lua scripting? Okay, flexible.
Yeah, great scroll back, built-in panes, tabs. It kind of aims for that highly configurable power user thing, but with more features integrated, so maybe less reliance on external tools like Tmux compared to Alacrity.
So maybe a step up in built-in features from Kitty or Alacrity, but still that deep config potential. Expert speaker, that's a good way to put it. Lots of power, maybe a bit more batteries included. And finally, let's mention Black Box, sort of the underrated gem from the genome world.
Okay. Beautiful, clean GTK interface, great modern theming, integrates really smoothly if you're on the Genome desktop. Polished, not bloated, feels native there.
Right, so for Linux desktop users, especially GNA fans, that could be a really nice seamless fit.
Definitely. And look, there are others too. Hyper, another Electron one with lots of plugins. Terminology, the one that can do images and videos.
The video one, wild.
And cool retro term for that sweet CRT monitor vibe.
Cool retro term is pure aesthetics. Maybe not for serious work, but peak ricing potential.
Absolutely. So the main point here, there's no single best terminal. There's only your best terminal. It depends on your OS, your workflow, what you value most, speed, features, simplicity, customization, AI.
So you got to think about your needs. Like if you live in Tmux already, maybe Alacrity or Kitty makes sense.
Right.
If you love VS Code and managed servers, maybe Tabby is your jam.
Could be.
And if you just want something better than the default without spending a week configuring stuff, maybe Black Box or Tabby are easier starting points.
Exactly. Think about your biggest frustration with your current setup. Which of these sounds like it tackles that head-on?
Okay, so picking the emulator, that's step one. But you said it's a whole stack. It's not just the window program itself.
Not at all. The emulator is like the engine, the chassis. But you need good tires, a good steering wheel, maybe a better exhaust.
Nice analogy.
To get the full experience. A truly modern setup means upgrading components around the emulator.
Okay, what are the key parts of this performance stack?
Step one, upgrade your shell. If you're still rocking Bash interactively, well, it works, but there are way more powerful, user-friendly options now.
Like Zsh or Fish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Zsh is super popular, mostly Bash compatible, but adds way better globbing, arrays, and crucially, this huge plugin and theme ecosystem, often managed with things like My Zsh or Presto.
Right. Oh my, I've heard of that.
And Fish, the friendly interactive shell, is designed to be easy out of the box. Syntax highlighting, auto-suggestions, they're just there.
So a better foundation for typing commands.
Yep. And if you want a great prompt that works across any shell, Bash, Zsh, Fish, even PowerShell, check out Starship. Minimal, fast, super configurable prompt.
Okay, shell upgraded. Step two.
Step two, fonts that don't suck. Seriously, this makes a massive difference to readability and just enabling features. You need a good, modern, monospace coding font.
Any particular type?
The key is usually a nerd font. These are basically existing fonts patched with tons of extra icons and glyphs.
Icons, like for files.
Exactly. File type icons, Git status symbols, all sorts of things used by modern tools and prompts. Using a nerd font fixes alignment issues and makes things visually rich. Think JetBrains, Mono, Firacode, Hack, Meslo, LGS, those are popular patched ones.
Ah, so it's not just aesthetics, it's functional. The font needs the right symbols in it.
Precisely. Functional aesthetics. Okay, step three. Ditch some ancient command line tools for modern alternatives.
Ooh, controversial. What should I get?
Start with cat. Replace it with bat. Drop-in replacement, but add syntax highlighting, line numbers, Git integration, viewing code or configs. Bat makes it instantly readable.
Okay, bat for cat. Got it.
Replace Ls with exec or maybe LSD. Run exaxol git, and boom. Readable file sizes, better permissions display, icons, and critical Git status right there in your listing.
Wait, Git status in the L's output, so I don't have to run Git status separately all the time. That's huge.
It is. Context right there
Right.
saves so much time. Replace find with FD, way faster. Respects.jignore by default. Much nicer syntax for searching.
Okay, FD for find.
And maybe replace grep with ripgrep, often just called org. Again, blazing fast, respects, ignores. These tools feel like cheating. They're so much better. You feel the power instantly.
Cheating sounds good. Those little daily friction points add up.
Totally. Step 4, autocomplete and auto-suggestions. This is where your shell feels like it's reading your mind.
The ghost text thing.
Yeah. As you type, it suggests the rest of the command based on your history. Hit right arrow, boom, done.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Looks like magic.
Saves a ton of typing, especially for long or complex commands. For Zsh auto suggestions is the standard plugin.
Okay, shell, fonts, tools, mind reading.
Where
What's
what's
the final polish? The prompt.
Yes, the prompt, what you see constantly. With tools like Power Level 10K for Zsh, it transforms from just dollar to this dynamic info display.
Like a command line HUD.
Exactly. Shows your directory, git branch and status, exit code of the last command, Python or Node version, Kubernetes context, maybe battery.
Whoa. Okay, I've seen those insane prompts on Renixborn. They look like you need a PhD to configure them.
They look complex, but Power Level 10K actually has this amazing setup wizard. It feels like a game tutorial, walks you through picking icons, styles. Surprisingly easy to get started. The goal is just putting useful info right where you need it.
So the whole stack, emulator, shell, font, tools, autocomplete, prompt, they all work together. It's not just one thing.
It's compounding benefits. Each piece makes the others better. And yeah, definitely check out .files on GitHub, see how others configure things. Steal like an artist.
Steal like an artist, I like that. No shame in borrowing good config.
None at all.
All right, I'm totally sold. This sounds like terminal superpowers. But here comes the resistance, right? The excuses I know I make sometimes. Changing my terminal sounds like a whole thing. I'll do it next weekend. What if I mess up my whole setup?
Oh yeah, those excuses are real. We've all been there. And maybe, like, years ago they were kind of valid, but honestly, today, it's so much easier.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, come on. You're writing YAML to configure Docker swarms or wrestling Kubernetes manifests. You can handle changing your terminal.
Wow. Fair point. If I can debug weird Helm chart templating errors, I can probably figure out a .csrc file.
Exactly. And the time investment, it's really small compared to the daily win. We're talking maybe a couple of hours, not days.
Okay, walk me through it then. The simple steps. How do I actually do this without, nuking my ability to work?
Step 1. Install the new terminal emulator you picked. Usually just a package manager command. Brew install cask whatever on Mac, apt install whatever on Linux, or download and drag, super quick.
Okay, install the program, easy.
Step 2. Get the shell and font ready. Install Zsh or fish. Brew install Zsh, apt install Zsh, install My Zsh or Starship maybe. Download a nerd font, double-click to install it on your system.
Install shell, install font, check.
Step 3. Config. The scary part, but it's not bad. If you're coming from bash, copy your aliases and environment variables from bash over to .csrc or config.fish, or find some .files on GitHub using the shell and prompt you and just copy their config files as a starting point.
Start with someone else's work. Smart.
Totally. Then spend maybe an hour, 2 hours max, tweaking, change the theme colors, adjust the prompt elements. That's usually it.
Okay, copy, tweak for a bit. That doesn't sound like days lost in config hell.
It's really not. And that small investment, the payoff is huge. Every single day. Faster rendering, easier reading, commands typing themselves, info right there. And yeah, okay, instant cred on Renixborn if you post a screenshot.
Got to get that developer cred.
Essential. But the real win is just feeling faster and less frustrated. And the best part, you don't have to delete your old setup. Yeah, install a new terminal, run it alongside the old one, try the new shell, but bash is still there. If you type bash, you can just ease into it. You'll find yourself using the new one more because it feels better. If you hit a snag configuring, just switch back to the old one for a minute. No pressure.
That's actually a great point. It's not a scary, irreversible switch. You can try it out.
Exactly. It takes away that, what if I break everything? Fear.
So the main takeaway here is pretty clear. Stop coding in Notepad. Stop living in a dial-up era terminal.
Precisely. Upgrading your terminal stack, it's not just fluff. It's a real improvement to your main workspace. It saves time, cuts frustration, reduces errors, and just makes using the command line nicer. That feeling of speed, smart completion, a useful prompt. Once you have it, going back feels awful.
And the path is simple. Pick a terminal, upgrade the shell, get a good nerd font, swap out some old tools for new ones like bat and OFD, set up auto suggestions, tweak your prompt.
And yeah, vibe check it. Make it feel like your space. It's a few hours invested for a constant daily return. Give your terminal the glow up it deserves.
So here's a thought to chew on. If your terminal is really your main weapon, your direct link to the machine, how much more effective could you be if you treated it less like just a basic tool and more like a finely tuned instrument, an extension of your own thinking? Let us know if you're liking these kinds of deep dives. We're curious. Are you running a custom terminal setup already? What are your absolute must-have tools, shells, configs, the stuff you can't live without?
Yeah, we'd love to hear your opinions, your recommendations. Drop a comment with your setup tips or, just tell us how your own terminal upgrade journey went.
And hey, if you know a developer who's still squinting at that default gray box, do them a solid and share this deep dive with them.
Thank you so much for listening.
We'll catch you on the next one.